you getting at with the book script? Spit that shit out, man!
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do. Good.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Oh my God, I did not think he was going to do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
And welcome to Two Brothers. Thank you for joining us tonight on another episode. Just making sure everything is good here because it's been a minute since we recorded. Well, anyways, thank you guys. We've appreciated all the love and all the, views and attention we've been getting. It's a small spike, but we've been enjoying it. And, well, ever since we were, reviewing Silent Hill 2, can't help but just want to talk about more Silent Hill. We talked about it with our friend Josh, so you can go listen to that.
Which Josh, though?
Other Josh.
Okay.
Not this Josh.
Seriously?
Yeah, not him.
Okay.
And we've been talking to, we talked about, Silent Hill 2. We talked about the current state of horror games and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So go check that out. Also, we have an episode up where we do a creator spotlight with Donnie Cates. That one we really enjoy doing. We really like comic books. We enjoy talking about our favorite creators and stuff like that. So go ahead and check that out if you're at all interested. All of this is on our YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to like and subscribe on this one, because I don't think that there's a podcast out there right now that does what we're about to do here tonight, which is the rise and fall of Team Silent. Going back to what I was saying, we're going to talk more about Silent Hill, and I love and appreciate this series. I'm so glad that we got a good game after 20 years, man. After 20 years, we finally got a good Silent Hill game. Let's just think about that for a second. The last good Silent Hill game that came out was Silent Hill 4, in my opinion. I never played Origins, so I can't really speak on that. A lot of people say Shattered Dimension. Not Shattered Dimension. that's a different fucking game.
Spider-Man?
A lot of people say that Shattered Memories was one of the better ones made by the Western developers and stuff like that. I believe it was made by Western developers.
No, it's China.
I don't think so. It's China. But if you really think about it, it has been 20 years. And so we're not going to chronicle all the games that have come out from the Silent Hill universe, because we'd be here for a hot fucking minute, talking about the rise and huge fucking fall of Silent Hill. But instead, we're going to just talk about, this is going to be centered on Team Silent, the guys the developers who created the original Silent Hill all the way up to 4. I think it's interesting to talk about, because these guys have been, well, they're responsible for creating the alternative to Resident Evil. That was Resident Evil's competitor, was Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
They
were the. I don't want to say it, but you don't think Konami / Silent Hill was WCW?
They were the WCW, and so much so because they gave them money and they just go ahead, make a game. We're about to get into it.
Well, before you go into it, so Team Silent did the original too, the first one?
They did the first one, they did the second one, and the third one.
Okay, I know all that. I just didn't know the first one.
But I will break it down by who ended up showing up, who ended up leaving, stuff like that. Because not everyone from Team Silent stayed in every game, well, except for your boy Akira Yamaoka. But anyways, hold on.
Are you really fucking doing this?
Okay, so hold on. Let's get into it. Now, I do want to preface this like I did with the Resident Evil retrospective. I'm not good at pronouncing these names, so please forgive me. I'm not fluent in Japanese, so if I butcher the names, I apologize in advance. I'll try my best. I really want to give, recognition to the people who worked behind these games. So we're gonna go down the list first, and I'm gonna give you all the people who were in Team Silent. For the most part, I'm sure there's maybe some that I probably missed, but I did
Okay.
my research, and this is the majority of the people who worked on it. So we have Kichiro Toyama, who is the director of Silent Hill 1. He left to join Japan Studio in 1999 to create the Siren series. You might also know him for Gravity Rush,
Oh, okay.
and more recently Slitterhead, which is already, I feel like, a cult classic because I don't think people know that game even came out this year.
Except for me.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, so I can't speak on it. But then we have Masashi Suwayama, who is background designer of Silent Hill 1, director of 2, art director of 4, and then left Konami to join Goodfield, which I tried to look it up. I think it's like a private game company, so don't really know what it is that they do. But yeah, he left Konami after 4. Then we have Kazuhide Nakazawa, director of Silent Hill 3, later joined Kojima Productions.
What?
Yep. Then we got Suguro Murakoshi, drama director of Silent Hill 2, and scenario writer of Silent Hill 4. Later joined Kojima Productions also. And then we have Hiroyuki Owaku, scenario writer of Silent Hill 2 and 3, and co-writer of Silent Hill 1. There's nothing that he probably also joined. I don't know, to be honest. And then we have Masahiro Ito, which people are familiar with. He is the background and creature designer of 1, 2, and 3.
Not
He
4.
did not create 4, which surprised me when I was looking this up. I was like, what? I thought he did 4 all day. Like all the creatures in 4 also look like he designed them, but I guess he didn't. I don't know. So
And he also joined Konami. I mean,
he still well he worked on Silent Hill 2 remake. So
Really?
Yeah, he came back. Him and Akira Yamaoka are the only two who came back for Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we have Akira Yamaoka, speaking of the legend himself, series composer and sound designer of nearly all of Silent Hill games. If I could list them all, but we'd be here all night again. Maybe not all night, but you know he's been
I think he did it up to Homecoming.
Homecoming. I
If
believe,
I'm not, yeah.
yeah, and then he left after Downpour, which I think we've talked about it on the podcast. Like the music from Downpour sounds
The best.
fucking terrible. Dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like jazz. It's not. It's not great. And then we have Akihiro Amamura, lead programmer of Silent Hill 1, producer of Silent Hill 2, sub-producer of Silent Hill 4. And then this one is actually pretty important. We have Takayoshi Sato. He is the CGI creator of Silent Hill 1 and 2. Left Konami after 3, the third game, to join EA in 2003. Sounds like I'm about to cry. I gotta sneeze. Later joined Nintendo in 2012 as a visual producer. So why is he so important? If you watch the behind the scenes of Silent Hill 2, he's mostly like who they center like most of the interviews on. He's the guy who created
Oh, that guy.
the intro for
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Pretty sure I have this written down, but he also, I mean, he's a CGI creator. He created what you see in Silent Hill 1. Everything that you see, they didn't have no base of reference for how Harry would look like, how any of these characters would look like through the FMVs and shit. He's the one who like really created the world via the cutscenes of Silent Hill.
Really? Okay.
So he was also the
champion.
The champion.
Yeah, of WWE.
of WCW. And then finally we have Shingo Yuri, served as the character modeler for Silent Hill 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So yeah, we just wanted to give these developers their flowers. They all contributed to Silent Hill in one way or another. You know, so it's very important that we give them a shout out.
Yeah.
This is very important.
I know it sounds fucking cheesy, but without them, we wouldn't have a Silent Hill series, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I read an interview too as well about Akira Yamaoka was asked about the return of Team Silent, if they could all come back and perhaps develop another horror game or another Silent Hill game. And he said I'm open to it, but I don't think that would happen just because everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And they said that even if we came back together, we probably wouldn't make anything good. Like we've all kind of evolved and became, different. Who's to say, like, they're basically saying, like, all that shit was, like, kind of lightning in a bottle, man. Like, to do that again, we can't guarantee we'd make another good game again. Like, that's just, we don't know. But at least Yamaoka's open to it. I don't think we'll ever get another Team Silent game.
Who knows? But yeah.
I think there's some, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Silent Hill 2 Remake does credit most of Team Silent as well. So, just important to kind of preface that before we dive into the rise and fall of Team Silent. So let's get into it. Starting off with Silent Hill 1999, released on the original PlayStation by Team Silent, which is a subsidiary of Konami, a group of developers who were given this project. Silent Hill became the first survival horror game that would end up rivaling the likes of Resident Evil, like we mentioned before. Though it never reached the heights of the Mammoth franchise, it was still a popular alternative to RE. What do you say about how much this game has kind of lived, dude? Like Resident Evil is it's a huge fucking franchise. For Silent Hill to still to this day remain relevant despite all the fucking bad games that they put out.
Hey,
Resident
Evil had their fucking.
They had their fair share of stinkers, but I feel like with Team Silent, it was like the next one could fucking destroy it every time. And honestly, it kind of did. Once they did the whole pachinko machines and shit like that.
That wasn't Team Silent though.
No, I'm not saying that was Team Silent. I'm talking about the franchise in general. It's just it went in the fucking crapper after. After Kojima was gonna do Silent Hills, like they just, they did. I think it was called a game called Book of Memories, which is like a dungeon crawler. It's just, again, we don't want to talk about that, so let's just move on. The development of the game was handed to Team Silent by higher ups at Konami with the intention of producing a game that would be successful in the United States. Of note was the fact that Silent Hill's budget was lower than half of Japan's biggest games at the time. Sato stated that the team intended to make Silent Hill 1 a masterpiece rather than a traditional sales-oriented game, opting for an engaging story that would endure over time. And you know what? I think they did their fucking job.
Look, even though that game came out in 1999, and I think it was around the same time as Resident Evil 3, I want to say. Yeah. Well, let's the original Resident Evil that came out in 96, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that the first Silent Hill still, in a way, that one still holds up out of the fucking original Resident Evil, which is like a statement in a way,
Yeah, and it's also a statement, the fact that game, if you go to try to buy it, well, first off, good luck trying to find it, but secondly, if you do find it at a mom and pop shop, or like a retro game store,
or even on the internet,
on eBay, you're looking at close to $200, like mint condition, more than that, obviously.
Yeah, but
you're looking at a lot of fucking money for this original game that honestly you can't play on many consoles nowadays.
I know.
It definitely has stood the test of time. It's true 3D. Also, it wasn't like pre-rendered background or anything like that. So you got to give it credit for that, man. Like it's still, like you said, it's still a game that holds up over the original Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
God, man, I just wish I could play it again. Hopefully, we've talked about this before. A lot of people have been discussing it. Hopefully, Bloober Team comes back. Maybe they'll remake the first one. I still think 4 would be a good one, like a good candidate. But, with the success of Silent Hill 2 Remake, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's the next one in line. So, That's really all I had for Silent Hill 1 because there's not really that much to talk about when it comes to that. But they did great. Team Silent, they knocked out of the park with this one. Konami fucking were like, what? What the fuck? Did you guys actually like? Okay, here's more fucking money and shit. And so we arrived to Silent Hill 2 in 2001, released on the PlayStation 2. Team Silent was given a bigger budget and more employees to create this game. Sato, as I mentioned before, the CGI creator of the first game, returned and was the creator of the story for Silent Hill 2, inspired by the book Crime and Punishment. This is something that you can just see online. It's not like a big revelation. It's very clear for anyone who's read the book. From what I've gathered, it's very like heavily inspired by that novel, as well as films like Jacob's Ladder. I'm pretty sure Stephen King novels had something to do with it. Like, it's just...
You mean Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks also, yeah, but I think it was more so that Crime and Punishment book and Jacob's Ladder.
So that book, this is my first time knowing that it was kind of based on that. They always reference Jacob's Ladder. This is new to me. Is this story similar to Silent Hill 2?
Yeah,
or
it is about... It does have similar themes about, like, someone having to repent for some shit that they did. Going through that whole, like, journey of redemption, or maybe not redemption, but of getting your comeuppance, that kind of thing. Again, I read the book, and I don't fucking know. Everyone I've gathered from other podcasts, from other videos, that is like a heavily inspired by that book, Silent Hill 2.
You couldn't even do like a quick
what?
synopsis
Of Crime and Punishment?
Yeah.
Hey, look, if any of you guys are interested in wanting to know what Crime and Punishment is, go ahead and Google it. Okay. I'm not great at... Maybe I should have actually done my research on that book.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, the decision was to make a sequel. The decision to make a sequel was partially a financial one and partially a creative one. Mostly creative, as you can clearly see with how it turned out. This time around, it seemed like Team Silent was given free reign to create something personal and meaningful, rather than focusing on how the psychological aspect of the game. They instead opted to work on the game's story first, in contrast to the process used with the first game. So they kind of nailed the atmosphere. They were like, okay, we know the world of Silent Hill now. That's already been established. Let's focus more on the story this time. And you can clearly tell that, like, the story that they crafted was a masterpiece.
This is a good, like, how do you say, a metaphor or whatever. Resident Evil was like that scene from The Simpsons, the movie, and the president's that one.
Well,
so
yeah.
they're not even looking at. No, I was elected to lead, not to read.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And over here in Silent Hill in Konami, we fucking have like the Quentin Tarantino's.
Yeah, they're like doing their research. They're actually
research,
like
really taking it seriously.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it like not serious, or like not a grounded story. It really is.
It definitely is more grounded for
more
sure.
More mature in a way, I guess.
I was gonna just say, I didn't write this on my notes, but I do know this tidbit, which is Silent Hill 1. You can say was also inspired by Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A lot of the areas in the game, were basically like taken from that fucking, like, lifted from that movie, like the school particularly and shit.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
So that, for anyone who didn't know, dude, Kindergarten Cop does have a tie with Silent Hill. Which is kind of cool. Yeah, man. What more can we say about Silent Hill 2 that hasn't been said before? We talked about it in our remake about how just fucking legendary this game is. It also withstood the test of time. Clearly, it has a fucking remake. The process of doing the story first, like I said, it clearly paid off because, I mean, this is like the blueprint for any developer who wants to create a fucking psychological horror game. And honestly, every game that's come out since has been one way or another a copy of Silent Hill 2. in terms of like, oh, it's some person who's tormented by guilt and something that they've done in their past, and now they have to confront it. And it's like, that's all from Silent Hill 2. You know, so legendary game. This is Team Silent at their fucking highest at this point. Okay, we gotta really let you guys know that this is them operating at their fucking peak.
Yeah.
And I want to put emphasis on this because then Konami starts to really put their fucking hand in the cookie jar. They start to fuck with shit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we got Silent Hill 3 in 2003. I'm not saying that game's bad, but you'll see why. Released on the PlayStation 2, Team Silent returned once more with a direct sequel to the first Silent Hill game.
Yes.
Originally intended to be a rail shooter.
What the fuck?
This was from Konami. Like, this is what they wanted. Due to initial slow sales of the second game in Japan. So the game comes out, Silent Hill 2, is not a huge hit right away. Now it did end up garnering over 1 million copies, but at the time, slow fucking start. Konami's like, maybe we shouldn't. Let's do something a little more action oriented this time, guys. Let's do a rail shooter. Yeah, that when I read that, I was like, are you fucking kidding? This is like when we did the retrospective Resident Evil 1 and when they were doing the remake, they're like, we wanted to make every enemy invisible. Like, what the fuck is your what?
Why?
That's so out of left field. Why'd you want to do that? But anyways, let's continue. The time spent trying to work on the rail shooter wasted development time, according to Masahiro Ito, which resulted in a smaller development time of 9 months from September 2002 up to May 2003.
Damn.
These guys had to work their fucking asses off.
Yeah.
After a huge amount of time apparently was spent trying to create this fucking rail shooter that Konami wanted. And that's one of the reasons why I think I have it written here too. The time constraints on 3 could be why we saw locations like Brookhaven Hospital make a return in 3 when it, I don't think really had much to do in terms of like Heather's story. In Silent Hill 3, they just kind of like, we're short on time. We got to, and this game is like already short as it is. It's kind of, let's throw Brookhaven Hospital again. And you can clearly tell that it was like kind of recycled. It was like reused. Now it's still a great area. I think they did a great job, but it kind of makes you wonder what could have they been cooking up.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like if they weren't spending their fucking time doing this dumb fucking rail shooter.
Yeah, which we have to blame Konami because these guys.
Weren't. Just imagine this: if you gave them the time, the same way they cooked on Silent Hill 2, I think we would have had another fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, no, I think I have this written on here. Hold on. Yeah, you can start to see Konami's influence. They were forcing a niche horror series to be more bigger than it was. Rumored was the idea that 3 was not initially intended to be a direct sequel to 3 or a rail shooter. Before all that, it was rumored that 3 would have been an even darker theme in tone than 2. This could have been Team Silent's darkest entry yet. So before all the interference, I think Super Eye Patch Wolf does a video on Silent Hill 3 where he briefly touches on that. That Team Silent was supposed to kind of make something similar to 2. They didn't want to do anything with the direct sequel to 1. But because people really kind of resonated with the story of 1, they wanted to see the continuation of that story. But Team Silent seemed like they had other ideas in mind. Then we're moving on to the last game, which is Silent Hill 4, The Room. This one I did have a bit more written to it, and we can talk about it more. But, oh shit, we haven't even talked about 3, huh? When was the last time you played 3, though?
I want to say 2 years ago.
And what were your impressions when you played it?
Well, this is my first time playing it since we had the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all new to me, and like
Yeah.
I had to look up like walkthroughs because it was kind of like not confusing. I just didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like it did have some dark moments. It did have now that you told me that you can kind of tell it's kind of rushed with the story.
Yeah, it is definitely. You can beat it in like 3 to 4 hours.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, if you know what you're doing, I think you can just beat it in 4 hours. Whereas Silent Hill 2, that's probably like 6 hours.
Okay.
Like if you're like speed running, like 6 hours. If you're casually playing 2, maybe like 8. You know, if you're taking it all in. Whereas if you're taking it all in for 3, maybe like 5 or 6. Maybe I'm pushing with 6, but yeah, it's definitely a shorter game and rushed. But it's weird because like, is it rushed? Yes, but it still fucking rocks, man.
I was gonna say, even though what you just said, they only had so much time, and it still turned out to be a fucking great game.
Yeah, it's close behind too, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
For me, like one of my favorite of the Team Silent like original entries would be like 2, 3, 1, and then 4, which I'm sure that goes the same for a lot of people. But I played this game last year around Halloween time, I believe, and it is significantly fucking darker than 2. It's a lot more culty, of course, like cultish themes and shit like that. Very religious themes, but yeah, there are some pretty fucking disturbing moments in this game too. You know,
The one that sticks out, and you're gonna agree too, is like when she goes home and finds her dad dead.
Yeah.
Not even when I first played, it was like, what? You fucking killed off Harry?
Yeah, dude, Harry's such a fucking boss, man.
Yeah.
He's such a good fucking character. Like
he rode up to the sunsets
Yeah.
of Silent Hill 1.
well, and he's like he's honestly the only good character in the game that like has he doesn't have anything in his past that's taking him to Silent Hill 2. He's Silent Hill. He's just a fucking dad, dude. You know?
So why was he seeing all these monsters?
Oh shit! You got a good point. I don't know. I don't know why, dude. I don't think they really explained it.
That makes sense because it was just
He killed a fucking god, dude. In the end,
with a gun.
with the fucking rifle. Okay? Terrible aim, but he got it done. No, yeah, 3 is you bring up that scene. I think I'll bring up one that everyone would agree with, which is what I don't remember what section of the game it's in, but it's like that room that you enter where you see your reflection in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
And once you enter, you're fucked.
I know.
You can't get out anymore. So you better make sure that you saved it. It's one of the dirtiest tricks that like Team Silent plays.
Hey, how do you know what section that is? So I have to come because
Oh,
I'm
man, that's the thing,
planning to play it again.
I don't remember.
No?
Man. I think I want to say it's the.
Ain't it in the mall or no?
It's like in an office building or some shit.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. That's the thing.
And you
I can't remember.
And you're a
what
fan. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, chill with the hostility, okay? I'm more of a fan than you are.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
This guy said he played it 2 years ago. What console did you play it on?
360?
Yeah, exactly. And for those who didn't fucking hear him right now, he played it on the fucking HD collection, the worst version of them all.
I'm too
Call
lazy to
yourself a
play
fan.
it. Alright.
I spent. Look, I don't want to talk about how much money I spent on it, and you still didn't fucking play it on the original console.
I'm not gonna play it on a slow ass console where I can go play it on the
Slow ass console.
yeah.
I think honestly,
Nope.
it boots up quicker
No.
than the Xbox.
Look it up, bitch. I don't think so.
Enter. In this instance, I have to disagree. When you play it on the original console, it adds to it when you get to the fucking loading screen and you're waiting to see what's going to happen. And you're just like, oh, you're trying to think, oh, do I have to go here? Do I have to go there? And you're talking about like it's one of the rare instances where I feel like modernizing the game with the loading screens is a disservice. Okay, you know what? I'm getting a little too hot.
Yeah. Just continue.
You're a little too hot. Do you have anything else to say about 3?
I love it.
All right, moving on to Silent Hill 4, released again on the PlayStation 2. This would be Team Silent's final entry, as most of the core team's members worked on it. Dubbed Room 302, Silent Hill 4 would be the first game to deviate away from the town of Silent Hill and instead be set in the fictional town of Ashfield, south of Silent Hill. Development began alongside 3. So they were working on 3, and they were also working on 4. You can kind of tell. 4 has... It's not great mechanically. Like, gameplay-wise, it's probably one of the worst of Team Silence. Like, their decision to fucking add monsters that... They stun lock you, dude. I think you remember there's like these enemies that like come out of the wall when you're going up the escalator and shit. Yeah, good luck. That's like the first. You want to talk about like Dark Souls where you reach like a fucking wall?
Yeah.
That's in this fucking game. Cause good luck. Okay.
Damn. Yeah, you're right.
It's not great, but I'm not gonna hold it to him. I mean, it still turned out to be, in terms of story, it's still one of the best Silent Hill entries. One of the weirder ones for sure. Yeah. So, despite rumors that it was intended to be a new IP, Silent Hill 4 was always tied to be a Silent Hill title. In a lot of ways, Silent Hill 4 had inklings of Silent Hills, as Yamaoka stated that they wanted to express the idea that Silent Hill was moving in a new direction. They would be unrecognizable to a great many people as a new Silent Hill, but they'd understand right away that it's at heart a Silent Hill game. That was a direct quote from Akira Yamaoka. What are your thoughts on Silent Hill 4 when you played it?
It really gave me like creepy fucking vibes, man. Especially the enemies or the floating ones, or whatever you want to call those.
Those are unkillable too, dude.
I didn't know that.
Those are unkillable too. You can't fucking kill them. And you know what's worse? When you're exploring areas and you go into a room, those motherfuckers can phase through the wall and keep chasing after you.
Really?
They can't. They don't fucking stop. The only thing you can do is like incapacitate them, so they don't follow you anymore.
Kick them in the dick. Yeah.
They'll keep coming back. Anyway, keep going. I just want to add that.
Not just that, and the room especially, doesn't it change like every time you come back, or like
it does change, and that's why this game is so fascinating, and why I think it could be a good fucking remake. Is for those who don't know, when you haven't played Silent Hill 4, the premise of the game is that you play as a character named Henry who's locked in his apartment, and there's a hole in his bathroom that transports him into different like areas that are like a part of Silent Hill, and it all has to do with this murderous psychopath named fucking Walter Sullivan, who is like Freddy Krueger and killing people in their fucking nightmares and shit. That's essentially like the core premise, but in the gameplay, like gameplay wise, when you return in and out from the other world into your apartment, it completely changes. Like sometimes your fucking wall will be possessed, your fucking TV will be on, and it'll be all static and shit like that. And this continues to infect your entire apartment unless you do something about it, and you get to like these candles that like keep things like you know. You get some fucking lavender candles and shit. There's not lavender candles, but anyways, you go ahead and keep. What else is your thought?
Dude, I haven't played it since the fucking when we got it on the PlayStation 2. I remember
we got it for $20. Remember that?
Yeah. I just remember we were trying to. I remember we were trying to like maybe get the good ending or something, because we kept replaying that over and over.
We got the fucking worst ending though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think what we didn't get is that we. Just like with every other Silent Hill, there's certain things you got to do to get certain endings. So for our dumbasses, we just kept reloading the last save point, thinking that we would get another ending.
No, it doesn't. It's all dependent on how you take care of.
Aline
and shit like that, and how well you take care of your. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into it in terms of how you get a good ending.
So what, I know you probably didn't fucking look this up.
Oh my god!
But why is it? How do you say not? Why is it? Why this dude? If that makes sense.
Why this dude? There's
What's his name? I don't even know his
Walter
name.
Sullivan.
Oh, Walter.
There's a lot of theories about why it's him, but essentially what it comes down to is that like he is somehow tied to like the cult.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah, and something happened to him in his past that ended up like fucking him up real good. I don't know, and turning him into this serial killer. You know what's actually was kind of crazy is that no one really knows what happened to Walter Sullivan. So if you remember in Silent Hill 2 original, you get a
No,
note.
is that the main characters? I'm talking about the main character of Silent Hill 4.
You're not talking about the bad guy?
No,
Oh, you're talking about Henry.
Henry.
Wait, what about him?
It's why him? Why? If that makes sense.
He's a creep. I don't know. He watches people. Honestly, I don't know how he plays into it, Eder, except for the fact, and I was actually getting to this until you interrupted me.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm getting somewhere, okay? What I was trying to say was that in the original Silent Hill 2, you get a note that tells you that Walter Sullivan killed himself in his fucking prison cell, which, trigger warning and spoiler alert, he fucking cut out his own throat with the spoon. That turned out not to be true because in Silent Hill 4, he's actually inside the walls of Henry's apartment and he's dead, and that's where his actual fucking corpse lives. So no one really knows what happened. What was that all about with the whole fucking jail thing, and like how did he kill himself in his prison? That's as far as I know why it's Henry, is because fucking Walter lived in that apartment.
Okay.
And so shit started happening.
Imagine if you do make this Silent Hill remake of Silent Hill 4, should be called Silent Hill. Why this dude?
Yeah, why the Silent Hill 4? Why me?
Why
That's what it should be fucking called. Man, he got the short end of
See,
the
now
fucking straw.
now I'm going to do that. I mean, after this, I'm just going to see a plot summary. See why this dude is this dude, man.
Yeah, why this dude? Silent Hill 4, why this dude?
Yeah.
Silent Hill 4, the room, but why this dude?
Yeah, but why this dude?
And yeah, so anyways, the game is not the greatest. The graphics.
Why
started
this
to take
girl? Why is this girl getting?
I don't know either, dude. I don't fucking know.
Jeez, good,
why this
good
apartment?
research, Albert.
Why this apartment? And I don't think even fucking Team Silent put too much thought into it. Okay, well, I wouldn't say they put too much time into it, but you're.
Why one of the creators say why this dude?
Yeah. They're coming up with this.
Yeah.
Why this dude? Hey, we're on time constraints.
Yeah.
We gotta fucking make this game, take it out, put it out on shelves, man. No, I was gonna say the graphics kind of took a hit too. It doesn't look the greatest in terms of like 3 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest polish, but it's certainly, if you're interested in knowing about Silent Hill 4, I would recommend watching someone play it rather than playing it yourself, because for one, the price for this game is like $100, and you also have to consider using a console, but you're also playing probably the weakest entry of the Silent Hill series. So I watch someone play it. I think you'll get the same satisfaction as if you were to play it. But yeah, and then Team Silent kind of disbanded. They got dissolved, and they all
Were they fired, or you just said, we're
I think Konami was like,
it's like a rail shooter.
Yeah, guys, let's make all the enemies invisible. Let's remake it. Let's make them all invisible. No, I think Konami was just like, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and give it to Western developers. We're gonna outsource it to people in the United States because they clearly know about Japanese horror and folklore. So we're gonna go ahead and give it to them. And I think that's the main reason why Team Silent were kind of broken up. But there was ideas for a 5th entry that would have returned the series back to its roots, a la Silent Hill 2. Now, when I was doing my research, I told you that there's some shit that I don't think even you know about it.
You don't even know.
No, that I didn't know either.
Asshole.
Yeah. So, the main character would again be an emotionally distressed man being called to the town of Silent Hill.
Okay.
The character would have been one of the patients mentioned at the hospital that James went to in Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
So there's the little connection to Silent Hill 2. The town would start off normal with everyday people walking about, but before turning into the Otherworld version. The
Okay.
theme of daylight horror was also emphasized, inspired by movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
What the fuck?
So this is going to be the first time that you would explore Silent
Hill
Hill
during the day.
During the daylight, like I'm pretty sure with no fog or anything. Like you were exploring Silent Hill, the normal version of Silent Hill. Not because
Raindrops
there's.
keep falling on my head.
Why are you singing that?
Because that's
Why are you singing
what
that?
you do when there's daylight in Silent Hill, dude.
You walk like you're walking to the song of. What's that song called?
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
I don't think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
called.
Okay, continue.
Sorry, yeah, but what I was saying is that, okay, so for those who don't know, in Silent Hill, there's three versions. There's the version that normal people
Yes.
are existing in and living in, and then there's the limbo version, which you could say people like James live in, and then there's the other world, which is like the fucked up version. It seems to imply that you would be exploring the version that the good people are living
Okay.
in. This would have been the darkest story that they came up with, according to Yamaoka. Also,
Okay.
that's it.
Oh, fuck you.
What, Eric? You didn't know about that? I didn't know about that.
I thought you had more, dude. You fucking came into my room telling you, dude, I didn't even know this. And that's what you got?
Making it sound like I didn't do good research.
No. Especially for
did.
that one, you hyped it up too much.
I did my research. I did the best I could. Josh, I need you to
Seriously?
I need you to stop. Right now. I don't need to hear you from you right now. What
Look,
are you talking about? This exclusive footage. Exclusive footage. This is like an exclusive to me.
all right, you hyped it up for me. Yeah? You're just like, oh, this new Silent Hill was like, and all you got was like, it's a dude from the second one, and you walk around daylight. It's scary, huh?
You didn't know about that, and you also didn't know about. You didn't know about how there was like connections to Silent Hill.
You know
2?
how you did it? It's like, it's about this guy who's mentioned in Silent Hill 2. You know the way you hyped it up? You were like fucking Patrick.
Patrick.
When he's telling Sandra the ugly barnacle. That's how quick your fucking thing was.
Yeah, you're making it sound like I did elementary research on this, okay? I
Once there was one.
shut up.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
Yeah, you didn't know about this shit. That's the whole point.
I know, but you
what
hyped it
else
up.
did you? What else did you want to know? What do you mean I didn't hype it up?
Yeah, you did.
I said like there's some shit that you didn't know about it. That's all I said.
So you said there was a kick-ass story.
I didn't say it was a kick-ass
Yeah,
story.
you did.
I said it was an interesting story.
All right, Patrick. That's all you gave me. But hold on. No, it's ringing in my cabeza that even in the remake, I think it's in the hospital. It's one of the papers that you pick up says that same thing. You don't remember that?
In the remake?
Yeah. It's about a patient who's talking about that he's in another world.
Oh, you're talking about a doctor who talks about like how one of their patients
Yeah.
experiences a different version of that. Yeah, that could have been him.
Right?
That could have been him.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds just like that.
Yeah. No, what's interesting to me is the fact that they were saying that this was going to be a return to Silent Hill 2, which seems like something that they wanted to do since fucking 3, but that it was also going to take place during the fucking daylight. Like that, to a lot of people, it was like, that doesn't sound interesting. What are you talking about? But in the fucking world of Silent Hill, to explore a Silent Hill where there's people living in it, and there's like, and you would see the transformation and shit, how fucking things go into the other world, how shit turns into shit. That to me sounds fucking fascinating.
No, I know.
You know,
Mhm.
like that sounds cool, and the fact that they were taking inspiration from movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of all things, and not shit like Jacob's Ladder anymore. Like no, not psychological horror. Like it seems like they were really gonna try to pivot into a new direction. But Konami being Konami, and their fucking love for the cult. That's another thing too. Did you know that Masahiro Ito says I fucking regret creating Pyramid Head? He said that shit on Twitter. He was like, yeah, I regret fucking doing that because they use him every fucking time. He was only ever intended to be in 2. I think he said, if I remember correctly, I don't know, I might be making this shit up, but I think he said that he would return to do a 5th one if it means he could kill fucking Pyramid Head in the beginning, because he just wanted him to be gone. Okay, but I don't know, we got to talking about Pyramid Head. What were we talking about? Oh, Silent Hill Homecoming. Yeah, Konami and their fucking love for the cult is what really, I think, fucked this whole thing up. They just had to keep fucking going back to this whole idea of how it's all related to this fucking religious cult and this and that.
Homecoming and Downpour took a left turn, and it was like Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it was all for the greater good. These motherfuckers are like killing people for no reason because fucking Kathy over there opened up a flower shop. There's a flower shop inside Hill 2 Remake. Eddie, you're not wrong. This probably is fucking Hot Fuzz.
What's that thing that she says? No, what?
No luck catching them killers, then. It's only the one killer, actually. That should have been the premise for Silent Hill 5. They should have just brought in fucking, like, cops to Silent Hill and try to solve the mystery of the cult. But yeah, like, Konami being Konami, they just had to fucking outsource it to Western developers. And like I said, I heard Origin was, like, not that bad. Like, really, some people kind of tip their
Cabeza.
their hat to that and being like, I think that's really the end of Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. But like I said, this whole episode was really about Team Silent. And
dude, we gotta stop doing that.
You made me laugh about the whole Patrick thing. Or like that, you gave me a fucking headache.
Oh, don't act like Patrick.
I'm not.
You know, like dead ass though.
All right, I get it. But yeah, I really wanted to just focus on Team Silent, the games they created. For better or worse, you know, there's that's not like that fucking dead ass though. Like that guy. That really.
Dude, just finish the podcast.
Just shut up, all right? I'm getting there. I'm trying to give my closing speech on Team Silent.
Okay.
If there's anything that people should take away from this, go play these games. All right. I mean, I know that it's difficult to try to find a copy of these games, but don't play it on the fucking HD collection. Whatever you do, you owe it to yourself to try these games. They're fantastic, and they stand the test of time. Even the 4th one, you know, if you're so inclined to play that one as well. But hopefully some people learn things here tonight about Team Silent and their reputation. They're legendary, dude, in the game industry. There's no other team like that. I think we could have gotten something close to it with Silent Hills. But, you know, well, do you lose hope? Have you closed that chapter of your life with PT?
Yeah.
You've given up on it?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
You don't. It is a touchy subject.
Yeah,
I will
it's
say
sad.
Every time I remember Silent Hills, I get a little sad.
No, think about it, okay? This is the same. This is the same level of like Shadows of the Damned. I'm talking about like the people who worked behind it. We're going to have Guillermo del Toro.
This is the Avengers.
We're going to have Junji Ito. Yep. We had Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
What else do you want,
man?
You
didn't mention
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, he's a big part of that too, man.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. And it seems like now Konami is trying to imply that there's different Silent Hills
Which I don't like.
with the whole short message thing. Dude, I don't know if I should get into that. It's very fucking stupid. I know we've talked about it before, but things seem to be on the up and up with Bloober Team. They seem to be like the new Team Silent.
That'd be cool.
Because
that's not the case. We got other developers working on.
Silent Hill F, which is being developed internally by Konami, but I think the writer that is penned to do the story for Silent Hill F is like this really well-known web series, like horror web series. Some writer of that, and then Siri. What? Oh, I said Siri. That's why. And then, sorry, my phone turned on. And then there's Silent Hill Townfall, which is being developed by Annapurna, which is the same people who did like. I don't know what they did, but I think they had something to do with Alien Isolation also. Anyways, there's some games to look forward to, but clearly the biggest one that kind of knocked it out of the park is Silent Hill 2 remake. Before that we had fucking Ascension, and then we had, Short Message, but that was the rise and fall of Team Silent. Edgar, you made me sound like I'm a fucking terrible researcher. I wasn't prepared for your questions, man. You were asking me about shit.
Like, they were simple, dude. I just said, "Who's that guy? Why this dude?" That's all I said.
I don't know the fucking answers to that question, man.
You gave me the fucking serial killers. Well, he died in the walls.
Aaron, when I said Walter Sullivan, he's like, "Yeah, that guy." And I was like, "All right, so let me talk about Walter Sullivan."
I said the main guy. You're old.
Well, when you said the main guy, I was like, "Well, if you want to be honest, the main guy is
Walter."
Oh. Was that a dog?
No.
Oh shit! Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
Now you're getting. All right, end this shit now.
Why?
You're getting me pissed off now.
Oh, dude, you're about to fall asleep. You started like at a sitting position, and now you're like almost completely laid down on my fucking bed.
Yep.
All right, we should probably end this. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to the rise and fall of Team Silent. In all seriousness, we really appreciate it, and shout out to Team Silent. I don't think they're going to listen to the podcast, but if they do, why would they? But anyways, thank you guys for listening. Like and share with your friends. Follow us on our socials, and we'll see you guys next time on Two Brothers: The Rise and Fall. Or
Two brothers.
The Rise and Fall of Two Brothers.
Is this like football?
Oh God.